Observe once more Spider-Man, the nimble infiltrator, moving silently through enemy territory. He clings to walls, slinks through shadows, and exhibits an uncharacteristic level of discipline. The enemy team, distracted by louder, angrier life forms elsewhere, remains completely unaware of the danger creeping behind them. Spider-Man reaches the payload, unattended, undefended, and tragically neglected. He places a hand on it. Nothing happens. No alarms, no resistance, no one notices. The payload begins its slow journey toward the point, guided by a single spider performing what can only be described as a perfect crime. The rival ecosystem remains blissfully ignorant, and then disaster. Spider-Man emotes, mid-push, fully visible, absolutely unnecessary. He pauses, strikes a pose, and celebrates preemptively, like a creature who cannot emotionally process success without announcing it to the universe. Miraculously, the enemy team still does not respond. Whether through incompetence or disbelief, they remain absent. Encouraged by this lack of consequences, Spider-Man continues escorting the payload, occasionally emoting again, just to be sure everyone understands that this is intentional. The payload reaches the point, the capture completes. Only now does the enemy team realize what has happened. Confusion erupts, panic spreads, accusations fly. Spider-Man, satisfied, vanishes back into the environment, having demonstrated an important law of the rival ecosystem. Stealth is optional, discipline is temporary, and if no one punishes you for emoting on the objective, you were always right to do it.
The Jeff Main remains one of the most reviled and carefully monitored organisms in the rival ecosystem. A creature so catastrophically aligned with chaos that even his teammates maintain a respectful distance lest they be accidentally included in whatever social experiment he is about to conduct. To the untrained observer, Jeff's behavior appears malicious, genocidal even. Entire squads vanish, ultimates are squandered, gravity itself becomes optional. Yet this interpretation is tragically simplistic, for beneath the bloodshed and the echoing screams lies not hatred nor strategy, but something far more unsettling: joy. The Jeff Main is, biologically speaking, a goofy little shark, an excitable, glassy-eyed mammal of the deep who experiences genuine happiness only when forcibly involving others in it. He does not seek victory, he seeks company. When Jeff extends his invitation, it is not an attack, it is courtship. He clamps onto a passing enemy with the enthusiasm of a toddler discovering Velcro, then embarks on a long, deliberate pilgrimage toward the abyss. A journey with no diversions, no second thoughts, and absolutely no regard for the passenger's consent. The victim will struggle, ping for help, and attempt to negotiate with physics. None of this matters. Jeff is already smiling. And so, together, they disappear over the edge. Not as enemies, but as participants in a shared ecological lesson. In Jeff's world, happiness is temporary, gravity is negotiable, and companionship is mandatory. A beautiful creature, a catastrophic one.
How does it feel to lose $40,000 in a tournament? Not misplace it, not invest poorly. Lose it, publicly, on stream, in high definition. Hopefully it doesn't sting as much as going 0 kills, 5 deaths, and 0 assists. The statistical equivalent of showing up, clocking in, and actively working against your own paycheck. Imagine 15 to 20 uninterrupted minutes of gameplay without so much as brushing an assist. No kill participation, no impact. Just you, the respawn timer, and the growing suspicion that the game might be playing you. Who am I kidding? We've all been there. What we are not, however, is the proud owner of 2 malfunctioning brain cells endlessly buffering common sense and reasoning. Allegedly. And so the hunt begins. We observe Kingsman approaching a teammate with a request. A polite one, a reasonable one. Could you switch heroes? Simple, clean, non-hostile. But repetition changes things in the rival ecosystem. What begins as a request is soon interpreted as a threat, a warning, a personal attack on bloodline, ancestry, and future aspirations. As documented many times, this ecosystem is home to some of the most pride-heavy organisms ever observed. Creatures who, when presented with logic, will double down, lock in, and march confidently toward extinction. Cough, cough. BP mains. Cough. Reasoning is discarded. Adaptation is rejected. The doomed path is chosen, enthusiastically. And so, we reach the end of today's documentary. A reminder that the rival ecosystem will continue to oscillate wildly between harmony and absolute dumpster fire. That chaos and ego will forever wrestle teamwork into the dirt. And that somehow, against all logic, we will still queue again tomorrow. Because this mess, this beautiful, broken, pride-filled disaster, yeah, we still love it. This is Doctor Strange, moments before he forcefully repossesses the souls of his newest tenants and sends them screaming into the abyss like overdue library books. In the Marvel Rivals economy, there are roughly 30 million ways to die. Most are painful, some are tragic. But the most humiliating way to go is getting erased by a wizard who thinks spiritual enlightenment means being evicted into deep space with a glowing post-it slapped to your spine that reads, "I have come to bargain, Dormammu." Or worse, being airdropped into your ancestors' laps by a man running Uber Lyft, Mystic Edition. And yet, some creatures, some absolute marvels of evolutionary failure, witness this rare specimen with no sense of self-preservation. They watch every teammate get folded, mailed, and spiritually deregistered by the wizard playing cosmic rideshare, and still leap headfirst into his open portal like it owes them money. 2 brain cells, both firing, both missing. Now we observe Magneto, apex predator, selective eater. This species has a famously refined palate, feeding almost exclusively on supports. Healers, strategists, anything squishy and emotionally invested in team success. Biologists agree Magneto will ignore the entire battlefield, walk past 6 armed threats, tank a mortgage payment's worth of damage, just to personally delete one support who dared exist. Collateral damage is not a side effect. It's a lifestyle choice. 6 players may fall. But if the support dies, Magneto sleeps well. Yet, there are brief, fragile moments of peace in the rival ecosystem. A sacred truce where instincts shut down. Weapons lower. Everyone just vibes. Jumping, spinning, crouching repeatedly like spiritually evolved idiots. And then Iron Man presses one button, the sky ignites, the vibe evaporates, the clip gets posted. Peace was never an option. Are Magneto's ultimates racially motivated? Yes, instantly, with confidence. He did not hesitate. He did not consult patch notes. This species has one dietary preference: strategists, supports, healers. Anyone whose job description includes the phrase, "stay alive." Researchers argue whether this behavior is instinctual or learned. Early findings suggest Magneto was once healed late and has never emotionally recovered. The hunt follows a strict and sacred routine. Magneto ascends into the air like a system update you cannot cancel, hovering just long enough to locate a target whose health bar is more of a suggestion. He ignores tanks. He ignores DPS. He locks onto a support who thought standing behind cover was a personality trait. Moments later, 100 tons of industrial-grade disapproval, constructed from rebar, car doors, kitchen appliances, and past mistakes, is accelerated toward 15 HP support, mid-animation and mid-hope. Exhibit 1. A team fight erupts. Pandemonium. Big Bertha pushes forward with confidence and a teabag already drafted in her notes app. Bones snap. Cooldowns vanish. HP files a missing persons report. Then, in the distance, a cloak ultimate activates. Magneto's support detection system lights up like a Christmas tree. Cloak and dagger are later discovered in an alleyway, folded into abstract geometry. Cause of death: optimism. Exhibit 2. Mid-fight, Ultron activates his ultimate and begins speaking. This is where things go wrong. Magneto rises like a cursed loading screen, absorbs the entire speech, compresses it into a dense cube of regret, and returns it at unacceptable speed. Ultron is removed from the match, having learned a valuable lesson. Talking is damage. Exhibit 3. On rare occasions, Magneto wipes an entire team. Analysts once assumed this was dominance. It is not. It is misdirection. When the replay is reviewed frame by frame, the truth emerges. One strategist is always missing. The others were simply standing too close. Magneto does not chase kills. He hunts careers. Nature is cruel. Magneto is efficient.
Here we observe Spider-Man, a nimble and relentlessly optimistic creature. Agile, acrobatic, and utterly convinced that this time will be different. His target, Magneto, a dense, metal-clad apex presence teetering dangerously close to the edge of the map. Spider-Man initiates the first pull. The web connects. Magneto slides just a little toward the abyss. Hope flares. The second attempt follows. Magneto stumbles again, boots scraping the very lip of the map. The void yawns beneath him. For a brief moment, gravity leans in, intrigued. But Magneto does not fall. Spider-Man persists, darting, weaving, pulling from every conceivable angle. Each attempt drags Magneto agonizingly close to the edge, close enough to inspire panic, voice chat, outrage, and frantic counterplay. Yet somehow, through stubbornness, mass, and sheer villain privilege, Magneto survives every near-extinction event. This pattern repeats several times. The rival ecosystem watches in suspense as Magneto becomes a living geological hazard, permanently one misstep away from disaster. Spider-Man, sensing that finesse alone will not finish the job, undergoes a final behavioral shift. He stops playing games. With the confidence of a creature that has run out of patience, Spider-Man activates his ultimate ability and solo ults Magneto, committing fully to the kill. No distractions, no assistance, just Spider, Steel, and Spite. The outcome is decisive. Magneto, having flirted with the abyss one too many times, is finally dealt with, not by gravity, but by persistence. And so the lesson of the rival ecosystem is made clear. Sometimes the mountain does not fall. Sometimes it must be pushed repeatedly. And sometimes the spider wins not by elegance, but by committing to torment an elderly supervillain over and over again.